I love this deck. It's not a great ladder deck. It's a perfect deck. There's one singular flaw deep within this deck, which is that it just happens to auto-lose to the best deck in the game that literally everyone is playing. But if it wasn't for that, this would be... Oh! Oh, fuck! Oh, no! Oh dear. We hit a Trund... Oh. Uh-oh. But, like, apart from that, I promise, apart from that, this is the best deck in the game. I actually win almost every other matchup. It's just that one matchup that is the best deck in the game that everyone's playing that I can't win. But I beat everything else. That's the thing about this deck. I beat everything else, except for just that one teensy little matchup. Teensy little one. Look, this Sejuani, I'm fine here. This is totally fine here. Every other matchup, we're good. It's just this one. Your predictions for Tom and Shyvana before release were kind of inverted. Yeah, they were for sure. I don't know. Shyvana was so disappointing. It turns out it's just like a really hard time for like any sort of mid-range deck to work in this meta. I think decks have just gotten a little too unfair. Sejuani Twisted Fate is like a old school turbo Sejuani. So this is actually a really hard deck to play. And it's even harder of a deck to mulligan for. I think I'm inclined to just take a pretty standard full mulligan here. I don't know. Sometimes Box to Bus can cutely punish like a Monkey Idol, I guess. So I'll show you guys, for those of you guys who have yet to see the majesty of a Soraka Tom deck and how it works. Showing off all the most degenerate strategies decks in the game. I consider this to be kind of my role. It's my duty within the community, because like if you look at what we've shown off today, I've showed you guys an all-in elusive deck, all-in elusive OTK. I've showed you guys all-in fearsome unblockable deck. I've showed you guys Tom Soraka, which I'm showing you now. I've showed you guys Feel the Rush decks. I feel like whenever I'm showcasing the game to a bunch of new players, it's my job to just show off the most degenerate ways to play. We're just running the gamut of all like the most disgusting... Ooh, 11. Wait, what's happening here? That's not right. 11? Wait a second.
There's always fighting
3-3.
Osu can sniff out any star anywhere.
Ooh.
I feel better than you feel better.
This is pretty awkward. So I do want to show off this deck, but it's an unfortunate situation. There's a chance we're kind of just losing here. I don't know. We drew our Brokeback Protector. And remember when I cut this card from this deck? That was pretty funny.
Start the round. Where are you off to?
So we're just gonna take it slow, take it easy, and just chill. Dodger. I mean, we don't really need to Brokeback yet. We can just Tom now. 11 health is plenty. Nothing is getting through this 11 health. So, to show you guys how this deck works, this might be the last deck I play today. I'm not sure how much longer I'm playing today. But, like I said, this is my favorite deck in the entire game right now. It's a delight for the whole family.
No, the stars.
No, not the stars. Yeah, I think I'm good here. This looks juicy. I can probably Brokeback Protector now. We are letting him play some things. And the question becomes like, you know, how much do we really need to heal? I think I'm actually out of some pretty relevant ranges right now. I think I can actually sort of slow play this. I don't actually think we need to do anything crazy here. Because I think the ability to get triggers off the Star Spring faster is a little bit better. So let me explain how this deck works, because I've done a very, very poor job doing so. Black Market Merchant. Interesting. I might actually have to eat that one. No, it's not enough of a threat. There we go. So, it revolves around a few key cards. One of which is this card, Star Spring. Simply, if I've healed enough units in this game, if I've healed enough damage on my units throughout the literal entire game, I win the game. It's like an Exodia win condition. It just allows me to win the game on the spot, which is really hilarious. And then we've got my boy Tom Kench. Tom Kench creates a really fair lockdown situation wherein the opponent is effectively unable to actually do anything. Pretty good stuff.
Ring the flippin' bell. Ooh, you wee scruff.
So let's go ahead and take the non-committal attack here. I wonder if this deck still runs Make It Rain. In the year of our Lord, 2020. Couldn't be me. Do you think they'll release KDA champs? Probably when they get bored enough. So the thing here is, basically the opponent is kind of trapped, right? So Tom Kench allows me to eat a unit every turn. Every start, it creates an acquired taste. Temporary card, which just allows him to swallow a unit, which just makes him take damage equal to the unit's attack, but he can swallow anything. So it allows me to kill something regardless of how much health it has, right? And because I have this in my hands and he knows I have this in my hand, he basically can't play anything, right? Like, he knows that he's gonna have to wait for me to like spend my mana before he's able to do anything at all. And here, I mean, I can just heal up by playing Brokeback Protector. Again, keep in mind, this card will heal my Nexus every single turn, and it creates a damage units for my Star Spring. So I basically have a board state that threatens the game to just, you know, end any second. If I want to, I can eat that with my Tom Kench, although we're very vulnerable to like, even like a parlay would disrupt that. I think I can't really mind enough about the Sejuani. I think we're just, looks like we're just chilling here, honestly. I guess if I want to, I could do like a weird Bastion on TK. I think I'd rather actually just play for maximum mana though. So we can pass. And that's what this deck is. I'm not trying to kill the opponent's Nexus. I'm trying to lock the game down with Tom Kench and then win the game with sometimes Star Spring, although honestly sometimes just the opponent literally running out of resources and not being able to win. Like, you don't really need a way to win the game. If your opponent runs out of resources, they lose the game. And if they lose, they can't win. And if they can't win, you have to win. Because one of you is going to win the game. Okay. We definitely can't afford to take too much damage here. I'm pretty happy just like blocking this with a Croaker. Oh
The winter's claw endures.
no. What about tie games? Wait, you're right. What about tie games? Okay. So the big angry boar lady is leveled up. This is a really scary level up condition. When you've plundered 5 different rounds, well, I guess it's different from plunder, but you've damaged the enemy Nexus in 5 different rounds, then she levels up. And at that point, every time she damages the Nexus, every time the Nexus gets damaged, the first time every single round, it frostbites my entire board. So she overwhelms my Nexus, I take a little bit of damage, and then my entire board gets frostbitten, which is really funny, but it's also kind of toxic. But you know what's really toxic? Healing my Tom Kench up to 10 health, 9 health, for no reason. Healing my Tom Kench up to 9 health for no reason. And then eating the Sejuani. That's pretty toxic. I need to play around like Furry of the North. Are we ever sad against Furry? What if it's like a double Furry? God, actually could be. I mean, we're getting healed next turn, right? I think there's actually no reason for me to do anything like crazy aggressive here. We do, I might want to take like a cycle. Honestly, I'll threaten the Sejuani on an attack like a normal human being and chill. So I think what I can do here is I can actually just Guiding Touch the Nexus. This is the safest play. There's not like a big pressure that forces us to deal with the Sejuani here. So we've got a Soraka on board. And now we've achieved kind of like the perfect state. We've got all of our pieces of Exodia together, right? I've got the Star Spring, which is healing my entire board every turn. I've got Broadback's Protector, which is healing my Nexus to unkillable. I've got my Tom, which is threatening a unit every single turn. I've got my Soraka. Soraka draws me every single turn and fully heals an ally that is attacking. So I've got this game in a complete lockdown state. My Star Spring is going to win the game literally at the end of this turn if nothing else happens. So what we can do is, for example, I'll threaten to eat the Sejuani now. I don't even have to, but it's kind of funny to do it now. This is Dastardly. This is a really, I love this deck. It's very fun to play. It's like the perfect just like jerk off all over the board control deck while my opponent struggles to be able to do anything at all. I think that's really fun, but I don't know. I might be a psychopath. People tell me this isn't. People tell me this is not really fun. I don't know. I'm having fun. Maybe this guy's not having fun. That's his fucking problem. I don't like. It's a great deck. It's a great deck. Do you think that this deck is fair? I think you're asking the wrong question. I think that if people don't enjoy playing against this deck, then something could be tweaked about how the deck works. I don't think it's overpowered. This deck is certainly not overpowered, but it does create some like the thing about game design is it's not really about whether things are overpowered or not. It's about whether they A, limit diversity, or B, impact player experience, which, you know, functionally limiting diversity, you know, throughput of that is impacting player experience, right? That's kind of like the issue with this deck. Potential issue with this deck. I don't think this limits diversity, but I do think we could see a meta reasonably soon where that does end up happening.